I'd like to welcome Associate Professor Leanne Bissett, the Program Director for Physiotherapy at Griffith University.
Hi everybody. So today I'm going to give you a brief presentation about physiotherapy in sports and how this can become your career to match your passion. So physiotherapy sits within the bigger health group called Griffith Health, and within Griffith Health there are 5 big schools, and we sit within the School of Health Sciences and Social Work. So you can see there that there are other disciplines in the school, and physiotherapy is one of these disciplines. So how does physiotherapy connect with sport, and why would you study physiotherapy if you wanted a career in sports? Well, here at Griffith University, if you study physiotherapy, you'll be joining one of Australia's largest health faculties, and you'll certainly be well prepared to join one of Australia's fastest growing industries. You'll also learn to work together, not just within your physiotherapy discipline, but also with other disciplines to deliver life-changing outcomes for your patients. You'll also graduate ready to work then with a multidisciplinary team, including exercise scientists, exercise physiologists, sports psychologists, and sports nutritionists across a wide range of contexts, sporting contexts especially. You'll also be graduating from an accredited program, and that qualifies you straight away to register and practice as a physiotherapist. And being a physiotherapist is a protected profession. You'd also then be able to pursue a professional career in sports physiotherapy. So a lot of students ask us, are there jobs at the end of this degree? Well, in short, yes, the answer is yes, there are plenty of jobs out there. In fact, physiotherapy is one of Australia's top most needed jobs across all professions, not just health. And we're second as a health profession only to nursing. If you do a Google search or a search on seek.com.au, then you enter physiotherapist in the search bar, you'll see there's around about 4,000 jobs currently sitting there available for physiotherapists. Now that's across all disciplines within physiotherapy, but you can even see there the first one up the top is sports and exercise physiotherapists. So there are plenty of jobs available for graduates. How do you get into physiotherapy? We have a Bachelor of Physiotherapy degree here at Griffith University. It's a 4-year degree, and our intake is in trimester 1 each year. Now entry is only via QTAC. And you can see here on this screen that the ATAR entry cutoff point is around 98 or 97, depending on the year that you applied, but it's only via QTAC. There's no vet pathways into physiotherapy. The assumed knowledge in order to enter this program is English, biology, and mathematics. So what if you don't get an ATAR that high? How else can you get into physiotherapy? A number of our students come via other programs. So they may apply to enroll in the Bachelor of Exercise Science or the Bachelor of Health Science. These are 2 really common pathways for students to come into physiotherapy. You can see here that the ATAR is 67 for both of these programs. And the good thing about enrolling in these degrees is that there are courses in both of these programs that are similar to the courses or the same sort of courses that you do in first year physiotherapy. So if you do cover these courses in your exercise science or health science program, then you get credit for them when you enter physiotherapy. So sometimes completing a year or 2 in these other degrees or programs allows you to then get a university ranking score that boosts your effective opportunities to come into physiotherapy. So how do you get specifically into sports and exercise physiotherapy? Because our Bachelor of Physiotherapy is a generic physiotherapy degree that covers all aspects of physiotherapy clinical practice. So there's a few ways you can get into sports and exercise physiotherapy upon graduation. So you can see here at the top, we have a Bachelor of Physiotherapy as well as a Bachelor of Physiotherapy and Honours program. And this honours pathway is for students who, at the end of their second year, for those who are performing well in their grades, can apply for entry into the honours program. And in this program, they will undertake a research project during their third and fourth years of their program. So upon graduation from either of these programs, you then have a few options you can see below. So one option that all our students usually take up is to join the Australian Physiotherapy Association. That's our national professional body that develops and delivers our postgraduate professional development training courses, informal courses and formal courses. So that's one pathway, is to do some of these just generic postgraduate professional development courses. And through a community process, you may be able to become a titled sports physiotherapist. Actually, they're called sports and exercise physiotherapists now. You can undertake here in the middle a research higher degree, and you can focus that in the area of sports and exercise physiotherapy if you want. In order to go through this research pathway, most of these students need to come via the honours program. And then on the right-hand side, you can see that there's a possibility of enrolling in a postgraduate master's program, and that allows you to specialise. So we often offer here or at other universities around the country a master's of musculoskeletal and or sports physiotherapy. So that's another way that you can specialise. And having done a postgraduate master's there, here at Griffith, it's called a Masters of Musculoskeletal and Sports Physiotherapy combined, then you're eligible to become a titled sports physiotherapist. What happens after you've done that? Well, if you start to specialise in sports and exercise physiotherapy, there are a number of employment opportunities that open up for you, both domestically and internationally. Now, this is just a few examples. It's by no means all of the examples that are out there. But just to give you some ideas of where our academics as well as our alumni have worked around Australia. Up here on the top left-hand side, this is Nick Marshall. He is one of our clinical educators in the clinic. He's one of our graduates from our postgraduate master's program. And Nick was a nominee for Australian of the Year in 2020 for his work with disabled young people. And he runs a program called the Albatross Program, which supports young people with disabilities to move into surf lifesaving. On the bottom left, this is Luke. He is one of our graduates as well. He actually has a double degree. He has a degree in exercise science as well as physiotherapy. He now works for the Brisbane Lions team as a physiotherapist. Our students over on the right-hand side, you can see the PanPac Masters logo up there. So it's run and held on the Gold Coast every 2 years, and our students work at the PanPac Masters Games. So this is a great opportunity for our students to get exposure to that sports environment and working not specifically with teams, but with athletes. So these are masters athletes, and these are our physiotherapy students working at the games. And then there's a number of graduates or a number of physiotherapy placements available for people working with teams around the country. So state teams in cricket, in rugby league and rugby union, across all the sports, including netball, swimming, a whole lot of range of sports have physios that they employ as part of their teams. Internationally, we've also had a lot of success here at Griffith University with our alumni going on to work with international teams. A number have worked with athletes who are Olympians. And the physiotherapists all travel with the teams and there's physios going to the Tokyo Olympics this year. We've also had graduates, and this is one of our graduates over on the left, Roisin, and she was from Ireland and she studied a postgraduate sports physiotherapy program with us here at Griffith. And she was the team physiotherapist originally for the Irish rugby union team. And then she went on to the Cirque du Soleil team. And we've had a number of our graduates work with different Cirque du Soleil teams around the world, including Japan. So there's opportunities for you to travel with this degree, this profession, both nationally and internationally. So it's a great degree, it's a great career and a great future. We've got a strong presence. Our program is based at Brisbane as well as on the Gold Coast. The facilities are second to none. And we've got a fantastic clinic right here on campus on the Gold Coast that's multidisciplinary. So there's a physiotherapy clinic and you can treat sports clients in the clinic, but it's multidisciplinary as well. So you can also see exercise physiologists, dietetics, nutrition, speech pathology, social work, psychology, dentistry, all working out of clinics in this Griffith Health building. Lastly, I guess what's really important is that it's a career that's so much fun. Physios get so much joy and so much pleasure out of helping athletes. This is, again, one of our alumni. This is Louise, and she works for the Queensland Ballet Company. And these are some of the athletes that she treats on a regular basis. So you can see from the look of this photo that they have a lot of fun and get a lot of personal satisfaction from a career in sports and exercise physiotherapy. So that's it from me. I hope I've inspired you. I hope I've given you some information about how physiotherapists work with sports and work across various professions and various sporting teams and situations, and that you might be interested in coming and studying physiotherapy at Griffith.
Welcome. I'm here to talk about the sport management major at Griffith University. My name is Kevin Philo. I'm an associate professor and the acting deputy head of department within the Department of Tourism, Sport, and Hotel Management. I've been with the department since July of 2010. In terms of my education background, I did a bachelor's degree in sociology and social welfare from the University of Wisconsin, did a master's degree in sport management from the University of Texas, and completed my PhD at Griffith University in 2008. Upon completion of my PhD, I served as an assistant professor in sport marketing at the University of Massachusetts. My research focuses on the synergy that exists between sport and philanthropy, as well as an examination of the well-being impacts of sport participation and consumption, and the antecedents and outcomes of what makes for a meaningful sport event experience. I also look at community sport and the way that community sport clubs can engage with their local communities. In terms of my teaching background, I teach both sport management and event management courses with a focus on sport courses relevant to the marketing and communication side. Prior to my academic career, I served as the merchandising coordinator for the Lance Armstrong Foundation, a nonprofit organization with the mission to inspire and empower individuals living with cancer, where I learned firsthand what can happen when you harness people's passion for sport alongside people's passion for a charitable cause. I also have a great deal of marketing and event experience, having worked for University of Texas Athletics. And prior to my career in sport, I served as the managing editor for Insight Magazine in Austin, Texas. So sport management allows you to come to an understanding of the business of sport. My initial draw to sport management as a degree of study is the fact that I have loved sport for my entire life. I've played sport for as long as I can remember. I thought to myself, well, this is something that has brought so much joy and happiness to my life. Why not study it and try to make a career out of it. And that's what sport management is all about, empowering people with a passion for sport to turn that into a career in sport business. So with a degree from Griffith in sport management, you'll be able to develop specialized knowledge of the sport industry and combine that with solid business skills that will enable you to manage professional and not-for-profit sport organizations, athletes, sporting events, and other sport brands. So the sport management major will transform you from a sport fan to a trained business professional who can make a difference in the sport industry. We empower our sport management majors to be an agent for change. And they do this through learning to respond to the challenges and opportunities in the ever-changing sport industry. The sport management major allows you to engage in an array of experiential learning activities to develop the emotional intelligence and responsible leadership skills that are crucial to ethical decision-making and business success in sport. You'll apply critical and creative thinking to consider future-focused solutions, which contribute to managing change and adaptability within sport systems. You'll also be equipped with understandings of inclusion and will develop the ability to sensitively work with diverse sport stakeholders. In terms of the core courses that we offer within the sport management major, there are 6. The first course is Sport Management Principles. This is an introductory to the way that sport management works and looking at sport management across the local, state, and nationwide level. Sport event and facility planning takes you behind the scenes of the management and operations and the delivery of meaningful sport events. Sport digitization and communication talks about the ways that technological developments are impacting the way that we consume and communicate through sport. Sport marketing takes a marketing perspective in the context of sport and how we sell sport and the responsibility of marketers in the context of sport. Sport development systems talks about how we can grow and develop our sport organizations, our sport brands, and our sport communities. And then you finish off with the class Contemporary Issues in Sport Business. And contemporary issues in sport business is all about how wider trends in society are impacting sport business and how sport business is impacting those wider societal trends. The sport management major also allows for flexibility, and we encourage our students to pursue a double major. A double major can allow you to build complementary skills and expand your opportunities in the sport industry. So oftentimes our students have a double major with sport management and event management or sport management and marketing. We also encourage students to pursue opportunities with regard to sustainable business, as well as innovation and entrepreneurship. As part of that flexibility, we offer a number of different electives, and here you see a sampling of our electives. Courses like innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. The community internship, which can provide you with real-world work experience that you can leverage towards opportunities in your professional career. Big data analytics and social media can complement some of our digitization and communication courses. Public policy for change for those who are interested in working in sport at the government level. The business of changing the world. Digital and social media marketing to complement our sport marketing courses. Event business development, where you can craft and pitch a specific business idea in the context of sport events, and engaging with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander business communities to reinforce the importance of diversity and inclusivity within our degree. Another advantage of sport management at Griffith University is our close partnerships with different research organizations. First, sport management at Griffith is closely aligned with the Griffith Institute for Tourism, which is the largest research institute for tourism in Australia. The Griffith Institute for Tourism has a specific program dedicated to events in which a number of our sport management researchers are based, including myself. An example of some of the projects that are being tackled by researchers within the Griffith Institute for Tourism is an examination of the impact of the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast in 2018 on social psychological well-being of the community. That was a project that examined the way that those events impacted well-being and quality of life outcomes for residents, both those who attended the event and those who did not attend the event. In addition, within the sport management group, we've created the Sport and Gender Equity at Griffith research program. The purpose of Sport and Gender Equity at Griffith, or SAGE at Griffith, is to lead innovative and impactful research that advances gender equity in sport through a multidisciplinary research hub connecting scholars, practitioners, athletes, and advocates. The Research Hub aims to contribute to knowledge and practice that addresses the complexity of gender inequality and diversity within and beyond sport, engage in collaborative and innovative research to advance opportunities for women and girls to lead in all aspects of sport, and to educate for sustainable change in classrooms, organizations, and the public sphere to transform sport cultures and gender relations. So Sage at Griffith leads a number of different research projects, and we also integrate the work of Sage into our classroom dynamics. In terms of the employment opportunities on offer, once you graduate with your degree in sport management from Griffith University, we have alumni who go on to work in government-based agencies at the state, local, and national level, overseeing programs for local communities. We also have alumni working in organizing and staging major and mega sport events like the Commonwealth Games or events such as the Australian Open. We have alumni who've gone on to work for AFL football clubs such as the Gold Coast Sens and NRL clubs like the Melbourne Storm. An example of a successful alumni is Liam Faithful. So through his degree in sport management, Liam pursued an internship with the Queensland Reds rugby union team. This enabled him to grasp on the operations of the club. He undertook things such as data analysis and event preparation. A quote from Liam about his experience: "The highlight of the internship was definitely seeing what happens within a professional sporting club. For me, the ultimate goal is to work in a similar organization, so this was a really good stepping stone." And through this stepping stone, Liam was able to leverage his experience with the Queensland Reds to work for the rugby league club, the North Queensland Cowboys, where he's now a full-time employee. So when we're young, sport teaches us some of the most enduring and valuable life lessons. For many young Australians, sport is a place where they go to experience acceptance and a sense of belonging, and to make connections that will last a lifetime. The fresh perspectives of a new generation are needed, particularly to navigate some of the challenges that the sport industry is facing in these current times. And as the industry embraces gender inclusivity and racial diversity. Griffith graduates understand that the benefits of sport should flow to everyone, and that the industry is at its best when it's spreading a message of inclusion. Imagine knowing that you help make your game one that everyone can fall in love with. So do encourage you to pursue studying sport management. Thank you very much for your time.
I'd like to welcome Nathan Reeves, the Program Director of Exercise Science at Griffith University. Thanks, Nathan.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Exercise Science and Exercise Physiology Careers presentation. So why study exercise science or exercise physiology at Griffith University? The program at Griffith University has a very strong focus on employability. Both of our programs are accredited with Australia's leading and accrediting professional body, Exercise and Sports Science Australia. We have a strong employability framework that's embedded across all years of the program, and integrated into the program is compulsory work integrated learning or work experience that helps to develop student competencies and skills and transition them exquisitely from being a student to a practitioner, and subsequently have a very strong focus on elevating a student's work readiness so that you're able to hit the ground running and be an effective practitioner at the conclusion of your degree studies. We have expert staff in the key areas or domains that are embedded within the 2 degree programs. Our academic staff are recognised domestically and internationally for their work in advancing the professions of exercise science and exercise physiology, and they delight in the opportunity of sharing those developments and new learnings throughout the curriculum of the courses they convene. We have a very strong focus on the student experience. The first year of both of the programs have a flexible foundation year. This means that students can undertake a various range of courses at a full-time load or a part-time load to fit in around other commitments that are typically very important for our students undertaking these degree programs, whether it be professional or work commitments, but more than likely, if they are interested or progressing their sporting careers or interests as well. As I said, we have excellent staff, and that is complemented by the facilities that we have at Griffith University. Each of our campuses has extensive facilities that will help you as a student to, again, further hone your skills in the area of exercise science, exercise physiology, and sports science. So our gyms, our track and field facilities, and our pool and labs are all there for students to access throughout their degree program. All of our program course conveners employ contemporary pedagogies, which means the way that they teach students is always as contemporary and as advanced as what it can be. And certainly in these recent COVID times, our conveners have been able to migrate key learning experiences online to make it more flexible for students. There's extensive learning support that is available for our students, not only within the school, but across the university. And at each point in time throughout a student's degree studies, students are reminded of how they can tap into that learning support. As I've said previously, the programs are accredited and remain accredited. And part of that process is to ensure that degrees are teaching the most up-to-date and relevant information to their students. So we go through a very rigorous reaccreditation process for our programs every 5 years. To advance the employability framework, we have a strong connectedness with employers out there in industry. They teach into our programs, they host our students, and invariably our students are at the front of the queue when it comes to hiring and recruitment for those various organisations. So an overview of the degree program: it is a science degree, and you will study the science of exercise, and that includes sports science as well. We look at the way exercise and physical activity can contribute to health of an individual across the lifespan, so from youth or younger people right through to the older age population. And across that spectrum, we teach students to identify, prevent and treat chronic disease, to implement routines or exercise regimens that are focused on injury prevention, injury management and performance, whether that be in the sporting context or the work context as well. We have a common foundational year that allows for flexibility for students if they feel a need to migrate to other degree programs at Griffith University as well. We take a strong focus on vertical and horizontal integration of the learnings of various courses throughout our degree program. So there's a clear pathway for what students are learning in first and second years en route through to the capstone courses in the third year. And that's really important that students identify the reasons why they're learning what they're learning at various points throughout their degree, and as it culminates towards the key competencies students need to be work ready at the end of the degree. And it can be a pathway to other degree programs as well. So what does the first year of the degree program look like? So it is very heavily focused on the science of exercise and physical activity. And we do look at courses that cover off on chemistry, anatomy and physiology, and the foundations of psychology. The other courses in the foundational year start to introduce students to the application of those key underpinnings or learnings to deliver interventions, exercise-based interventions, and measure and test and quantify the impact of those interventions. The second year is where we start to really build on that foundational knowledge and start to apply it in the areas of neurology, musculoskeletal areas, as well as starting to consider how exercise can contribute to the prevention of disease, the management of disease across the lifespan. This will be the first point where students can undertake various electives, and that can help a student to start to focus their learnings in a particular area or a particular field. And at the end of the second year, students can also undertake the first of the practicum experiences. And then we have the final year of the program, which really, again, hones in on what are the core competencies that a student needs to be able to practice effectively as an exercise scientist, exercise physiologist, or sports scientist. As I've said previously, the practicum experience is a strong focus of the degree programs. The Bachelor of Exercise Science students will receive 140 hours of exercise science practicum throughout the degree program, and the exercise physiology students will receive an additional, on top of the 140 hours, 360 hours in a clinical setting or a exercise physiology setting. We have dedicated staff that support students through that process of preparing for and transitioning through their placement experiences. As I've indicated, both the programs of exercise science and exercise physiology are accredited with Exercise and Sports Science Australia. And upon successful completion of the degrees, students can directly apply to ESSA to be accredited as either an exercise scientist or exercise physiologist. And many employers are requiring graduates to be accredited with ESSA in the fields of exercise science, exercise physiology, and sports science. Students who want to take on an extra stream within the unit of study can combine it with a double degree. The two double degrees that are attached to the Bachelor of Exercise Science are the Bachelor of Business and the Bachelor of Psychological Science, typically taking students on a full-time study load an additional year and a half on top of the 3 year of the exercise science degree program. So where can exercise science and exercise physiology degree take you? This list is certainly not exhaustive and it's always expanding, but corporate health, public health initiatives are strong employers of our graduates. Many of our graduates work in private practice, treating or providing intervention to patients or clients in low to medium risk areas. And if you're an accredited exercise physiologist, in high risk populations, those that have developed a chronic disease. Many of our students work in the area of sports science. So they are working with high level teams to support their athletes, their team members to perform as well as they can on the field or whatever their athletic or sporting endeavours are, mitigating risks and really complementing the overall coaching staff and team. Our students are employed both domestically and internationally in diagnostic investigations, things like cardiac science, ECG, sleep tech, and those sorts of things. And increasingly, our graduates are working in the areas of occupational health, injury prevention, injury management, health and safety, and case management. Our exercise science degree and exercise physiology degree can be stepping stones to other degree programs at Griffith University, and you can see some of the pathways there that students may consider exploring upon successful completion of the degree program. So thank you for your time. I hope that's provided a valuable insight into the exercise science and exercise physiology degree programs at Griffith University. And if you have any questions for me into the future, please follow the email link that you'll be provided at the end of this presentation.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome Dr. Brooke Harris-Reeves, the Program Director for Sport Development at Griffith University, to introduce us to the suite of sport development programs they offer.
Thanks, Sam. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and share a little bit about our programs at Griffith University. So I'm going to start by sharing a little bit about what sport development is all about, because it's not widely known. So basically, sport development is about attracting, retaining and nurturing sport participants in the community. And that's actually achieved through numerous different avenues, but also by planning and developing targeted programs that are delivered and managed in a variety of sport contexts. So it can mean anything. It can mean working with grassroots athletes through to elite athletes in the athlete development sort of area. But it can also be working in the community to engage people to become active and healthy, like so community development, and then working to build engagement in sport and physical activity, like sport events, marketing, facility management. So there are a range of career opportunities upon graduation through one of our sport development programs. You can work in the community area, in aged care, working with grassroots athletes, as I said, because the bigger the base of athletes, the better the elite athletes become. So yeah, there's a wide range of career opportunities, and the degree can take you wherever you want it to be. So basically, if you're listening today and you've got a passion for sport, why not turn that passion into a career? Because there's nothing better than waking up in the morning and going to a job that you love. So let me share a bit about what you'll actually study if you come to one of our programs in sport development at Griffith University. You'll cover a range of different topics in sport and exercise science, also health promotion, because it's important to understand how to promote active and healthy lifestyles in the community. And then you'll cover areas such as sport management and marketing, and also sport coaching. So sport development's not just about sport coaching. There's a range of different career opportunities that I'll share with you shortly as well. So if you come to Griffith University, the courses or subjects you'll study are really broad. So you'll study things like facility planning, sports psychology, emotional well-being, anatomy, how to prevent injury in your athletes and in your clients, how to develop community festivals and events, sport marketing. You'll also get a Cert 3 and a Cert 4 in fitness, cover topics like nutrition, exercise prescription, so how to develop programs, and then sport and media. So basically, as you journey through all those different subjects, then you reach graduation and you become a sport development professional. Now, there's two different programs that you can study at Griffith University. The first one is the Bachelor of Sport Development, and that's 3 years full-time. There's also a double degree, which means you can study a Bachelor of Sport Development and a Bachelor of Business for 4 years. So basically, you come out after 4 years with 2 degrees. You're only adding an extra year for that additional degree. So that's actually quite a popular option if you're looking to go down the business arm of sport. So now I'm going to share a little clip of one of our previous graduates from sport development who now works for the AFLW for Geelong.
My name is Georgie Rankin and I play for the Geelong Football Club in the AFLW and am a sport development graduate from Griffith University. Studying a Bachelor of Sport Development gave me an insight into the key aspects of being an elite athlete, including injury prevention, psychology, sport management processes, media and marketing, different coaching styles and the way they deliver their messages so that I know how to receive them as an athlete. While I was completing my studies in sport development, the staff were unbelievably supportive, which was something I was actually quite surprised at because I'd been led to believe that at uni, you're left to feel on your own a lot of the time and fend for yourself. We're really lucky in sport development that we have such a small cohort. It's something that not everyone gets, and it makes the uni experience so special because you know every single person in your classes. If you go to a big lecture, you don't feel on your own because you can spot out who are your fellow sport development friends. You make really genuine lifelong friendships, and ones that I still hold really, really close to me right now. After my sporting career, I am really passionate about becoming a coach. I always tell myself to never forget what it feels like to be a player one day when I put those coaching shoes on. It's a really core part of my coaching philosophy to never ever forget that. As well as being a strengths-based coach and creating an environment where mistakes are supported and even encouraged. My coaching philosophy will keep on developing and moulding itself as I draw on personal experiences and from the studies that I did in sport development. I would definitely recommend studying a Bachelor of Sport Development because it opens your eyes to all the areas of the sporting environment that you can be involved in and the ways in which the positions actually overlap each other a lot of the time. You really get a taste of it all, and as you progress through your first, second and final year, you find that the courses, assessments, internships, and particularly the mentoring that you receive really molds you as a sport development professional into the position that will drive your passion all the way through your career.
So that was a great testimonial from one of our previous students who's graduated from sport development. So that's a really nice insight into the life as a student in our program. So a lot of parents say, what career can you get from sport? And my answer to that is there's so many different career opportunities, from sport coach with children through to elite athletes, professional association official, event management, health promotion in local councils, various community development roles, club administrators, facility managers, event coordinator, and the list goes on and on and on. So I always say to my prospective students, if you do a Bachelor of Nursing, what can you be? A nurse. If you do a Bachelor of Dentistry, what can you be? A dentist. Well, the career opportunities through studying one of our sport development programs are endless, and it's really exciting the number of doors that can open for you after graduation. So who will employ me after I graduate? There's a number of different organisations, and we actually have graduates in all of these organisations that are on the screen. So community sport and recreation programs funded by various levels of governments, amateur sporting organisations through to professional sporting organisations, sport and rec centres and resorts, national, state and local sporting organisations, marketing and media consultancies, and event and logistics. So there's so many different possibilities and organisations that are employing our graduates. So why study sport development? Let's take you through a number of key aspects of our programs at Griffith. We have the most comprehensive sport development program with a unique blend of topics, including physiology, injury prevention, psychology, through to marketing, sport coaching, and fitness programming. As well as graduating with a tertiary qualification, throughout your studies, you'll get a range of additional qualifications that look really great on your CV and make you stand out from other potential applicants in employment opportunities. So in first year, you get a number of different coaching certifications. For example, in 2 weeks' time, our first years have an NRL coaching course that they're doing during class time. You also get a Cert 3 and Cert 4 in fitness, Level 1 sport trainer, and then, as I said, a number of different coaching accreditations, which even if you're not interested in coaching in those different sporting contexts, it looks great on your CV. Students have the opportunity to study a reduced load in the first and second year. So we have trimesters. So we have trimester 1, 2, and 3. So instead of studying 4 subjects in trimester 1 and trimester 2, and then having 5 months off, we like to encourage students to do what's called smearing. So study 3 courses or subjects in trimester 1, 3 in trimester 2, and then 2 in the final trimester, which is often delivered in intensive mode. So the trimester 3 can start in November, and then you finish before Christmas, and you still get a couple of months off before trimester 1 starts again. Basically, this approach is really worthwhile as it increases students' chances of academic success, and it also enables you to do things like work part-time and do your training and sport commitments as well. Students in the sport development programs have the opportunity to do work placement. So the best way to gain experience is to go out and volunteer, but also do things like work placement and internships. And they actually increase your chances of employment because you're building your networks in the industry. Sometimes it's who you know that will get your foot in the door at sporting organisations. Throughout the first year, we encourage students to attend workshops designed to actually support students' academic success. Sometimes when at school, it's very different to the way you study at university. So we support students in first year to build those academic skills to be successful and improve their overall grades. We focus really strongly on building students' employability skills, and it's actually a Griffith University awarded program for this design of the employability throughout. So it's all good and well to learn about the discipline of how to prevent injury or how to develop programs. But if you can't effectively communicate the skills and knowledge that you've got to actually get a job, then you're not going to gain employment. So what we do throughout the whole degree is focus really strongly on making sure that you're work ready once you graduate. We have really high rates of graduate employment because in the final trimester, you actually complete an 80-hour internship. And that 80-hour internship is tailored exactly where you want your career to take you. And most often than not, students get some form of paid employment through this internship opportunity. So some of our graduates now, we've just give you a little bit of an insight into the different roles that they're in. So we've got a program manager at the Gold Coast Academy of Sport. Someone works for Swimming Australia in team logistics coordination, and she's actually working really closely with the Olympians that are going over to Beijing at the moment. We've got someone who's progressed through and is now working at a rally camp in Texas in USA. He's the Director of Operations and Sport Facilities, which is incredible. He's only been graduated for 4 years and he's already progressed to that role. We've got 3 activity coordinators at the Runaway Bay Sport and Leadership and Excellence Centre. We've got someone working in community and game development at the Titans. We've actually got a participation and programs manager at Baseball Australia, and also someone is working with New South Wales Football as an administration coordinator. I could just go on and on about the different roles that our graduates have got, but that's just a little bit of an insight into the range of roles you can get and the sporting organisations that are employing our graduates. The entry requirements into our programs is an HR 65, and it's English is a requirement. And it's good to have some knowledge around biology and chemistry, but it's actually not essential. So if you've got that background, then great, but you'll still be able to succeed without having done that at high school. What can you do further after you graduate? You can do honours. So if you're interested in research and want to go through to a PhD, we've got an honours program. You can also add an additional study, postgraduate study in Master of Education. And you can become a teacher with a couple of years of postgraduate study. So I've got one more little clip to show you that gives you a bit more of an insight into sport development at Griffith.
I fell in love with sport at a young age. Growing up, I think I tried nearly every sport under the sun.
So I studied a Bachelor of Sport Development at Griffith University. It was a 3-year degree. I went straight from school into the degree. I was actually lucky enough to be the very first intake at Griffith. It was certainly worth taking the leap and going into the unknown. There's lots to love about my job. You see the impact that we can have on people in the community. Helping one person might not change the world, but it could change the world for one person.
Students that graduate from the Bachelor of Sport Development have a wide range of career opportunities, including working with grassroots through to elite athletes.
I aspire to be a sport development professional in the events management industry. I would love to work alongside collegiate athletes and working my way up to helping elite athletes get to where they want to be.
So that's a little bit of an insight in a small snippet of the sport development programs at Griffith University. We have a Facebook page if you'd like to follow that. It's GU Sport Development. But also please feel free to contact me through my email address below. If you've got any questions, I'm more than happy to help. Thanks very much for that, Sam.
Amazing. Sounds like an exciting course and program, Brooke. So thanks so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity.